We are going to be chatting about finding purpose through getting loved up. And yes, my company is Get Loved Up, and that's love yourself, love others, love the world, in that order. It's no wonder a lot of people feel out of purpose or like they lost their purpose through the pandemic because we didn't know what was happening. We were uncertain. A lot of us felt like a lot of us lost our jobs, lost family members. So everything was all over the place. So it's normal that people felt like they lost their center. And so I'm going to take you through a journey of finding your purpose to getting loved up. And I'm going to do that through one of my favorite systems that I studied during my yoga teacher training and that I teach in my yoga teacher training school, which is through the chakras. And the chakras are just natural wheels of energy in our body. I also call them spiritual energy centers, and you feel them even if you haven't heard of them before. It's that lump in your throat when you want to say something, but you don't know what to say. It's that queasy feeling you feel in your stomach when you're a little bit uncomfortable. I'm going to really break down. It's really your body speaking to you and how we can start to listen to our body. And as we listen to our body, it can make sure we stay in alignment with our purpose. Because I firmly believe you don't have to find your purpose. I firmly believe your purpose is within you. So sometimes it can be a sort of finding because you kind of move all the weeds around it so that you can align with it. So as a spiritual teacher, as I was going through, the uncertainty and, mask on, mask off, all these things, it was my daily meditation, daily prayer, daily yoga practice, and daily rituals that helped me feel safe because I didn't know what was going on outside. And I didn't know, sometimes we couldn't even go outside. I was wondering if things were happening in the air. So my spiritual connection and connecting with God helps me feel safe. So once you've written it down, go ahead and share it in the chat. What makes you feel safe? Another thing that makes me feel safe is friends and family. So having someone that I can lean on and someone that I can call and maybe we can both feel scared together. So my friends and my family help me feel safe. And the last thing that helps me feel safe is my community, being able to get online and talk to my community and Get Loved Up community, my GrowthDay community. Like community helps me feel safe. So I see some of y'all checking in community, your family, your friends, checking in with your truth. Yes. Beautiful. This is really important, especially when it comes to purpose, because if we get thrown off by a job loss or death in the family or anything like that, in order to come back to your purpose and living in your purpose, you have to reattach to your sense of safety. But if you're like, oh my goodness, this is happening, now I have to move, or, oh my goodness, I don't even have toilet paper, whatever you're thinking, it can throw you off and you're just thinking like, I need to feel safe. Oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. You forget to live in alignment with your purpose. You might get angry, you might get upset. All those are natural emotions letting you know that you're not okay because you don't feel safe, right? So really grounded on remembering what makes you feel safe. So if you ever feel out of alignment, how do you get loved up? You go back to your root. And that's our first chakra is your root chakra. And that's your sense of safety. And how the chakras work is actually build upon each other. We start with the root and then we'll go to the sacral. And if you've coached with me before, I talk about the chakras a lot and we go all the way up to the crown. And again, these are natural. Every single person has these energy centers in your body, and we can all use them so that we can know when we need support, when we need to get loved up a little bit more, when we need to pour into ourselves. Someone said they feel safe inside a hot yoga studio. Yes, that really does feel safe to me too. All right, so now we're going to go to the second chakra, which is your sacral chakra. And that's your sense of expression. So we feeling safe. And the next thing is feeling like you can express yourself, right? Because I truly believe in the world, if you look at nature, if you look at people, we're all meant to express ourselves fully in whatever. Some of us sing, some of us dance, some of us teach for a living, so whatever it is you do. But I find purpose through expression, right? How many of you find purpose through expression, or expressing makes you feel like your life has a purpose? Yeah, I see some hands. So think about expression right now. What is your favorite way to express? A lot of times when you feel like, oh, I don't feel on purpose, once you ground down in your safety, if you start singing, dancing, wearing colors, painting, writing, you'll start to get loved up, right? By doing what you like to do, by expressing, and then it'll start to become clear what is rising to the top. Because I'm a multi-passionate person, as you almost know, and a lot of things make me excited. I love to express through writing. I love to express through speaking. I love to express through dancing. And at different times in my life, different ways of expression bring me joy, right? And so when I start doing a little bit of each of them, the one I like the most will take precedent. And the more that I do it, the better that I feel, the more in alignment that I feel. And if you think about it, when you start to express yourself, you're releasing tension, you're releasing anger, you're releasing all of these emotions that don't serve your highest and greatest good. And you feel more aligned with who you truly are and your purpose, again, that is always within you, right? So the next time you're feeling like, oh, I'm so down, I'm having a dark day, I don't feel great, look at your list today. And this is a list that we create today, you all. I want you to come back to this list every single time you're not feeling okay. And remember what makes you feel safe and secure. What makes you feel fully expressed, or what are your favorite ways to express? Beautiful. Mentoring others, creating new content, journaling. I love it. Okay, someone said coffee. I love it. I love it. I don't know about that one, but fair. Awesome. Okay, so let's keep going to the third chakra. And the third chakra is your solar plexus, or your center, right? A lot of times when we don't feel safe or we feel challenged, we start to get this gut feeling like something is not okay, right? And that's our gut, that's our solar plexus telling us we don't feel in control, we don't feel in our power, and it's giving us an alert, right? So right now, I want you to think about what makes you feel powerful. So I know for me, when I think about what makes me feel powerful, sometimes, like I said, thinking about what makes me feel unpowerful, it makes me feel powerful when I feel heard, right? A lot of times when I was younger, I felt very unheard. And so when someone acknowledges what I say, I feel powerful, I feel seen. And when I think about when I don't feel as powerful is when I'm speaking and I still don't feel like I'm heard or understood. What makes you feel powerful? Also, when I feel confident, I feel powerful. When I show up and I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm teaching. I've done my homework, so to speak. I feel in my power. I feel powerful. Awesome. Feeling satisfied, overcoming yourself, breaking through, clarity, intentionality, confidence, beautiful. Action makes you feel powerful, beautiful. So these are all great things. And as we go through, no right or wrong answers. It's all about you writing it down and creating a list you can come back to when you're not feeling powerful. Taking action also makes me feel powerful, especially with what's going on in the Ukraine, for instance, and you feel helpless and you feel like, oh, I feel powerless. I feel like there's nothing that I can do that's going to change. But then the way you can get in your power is looking at this list. Well, you get clarity, you do your homework and find out, well, what can I do to make a difference? And then once you start doing those things, you automatically feel what? You feel powerful, you feel on purpose, you feel aligned. Right? So it's all about asking yourself, how do I feel powerful? And then drawing that back. Okay, I feel powerful when I take action, whatever it is, whether it be towards a goal or towards just helping someone down the street. I felt good when I just made a donation. Then I felt even better when I shared it with my community. I felt even better when I wrote a newsletter. And the more I took action, the better I felt. And then I also felt heard because I was sharing my perspective and sharing my thoughts and ideas with others. So whatever makes you feel powerful is going to align you with your purpose, right? You're going to feel fully expressed, you feel safe, and you feel like even though you might not do what someone else is doing, or you might not be able to be there and help physically, you still feel empowered because you're doing something that's on your list of what it means to be powerful. And that aligns you with your purpose.
If you have ever seen me in the past, I'm usually like super, and I can't turn that off. But I do have a more subdued energy at the moment, and I think it's supposed to be like that today, because the things I'm going to talk about are very close to your entire existence as a human here. And so I spent the flight home yesterday. I had about 5 hours on a flight straight shot back from Orlando to home, and I was thinking of you. Literally you. I was like, how do I make sure that what I create for you is going to hit you where it needs to, and that in the time that we spend together, that it lands in a way that helps benefit with everybody else giving all their insight. I want to hopefully bring some things ahead that are actionable steps. I do have a framework because I think in like process, but do realize like I'm here trying to actually find a way to make sure my heart connects to yours, because you are listening, and wherever you're at in the world, this today is for you. Yes, you, not the group, just you. So it's weird, but it's okay. So today I want to talk about this concept of purpose. And for me, if you know my background, my story, purpose has been an interesting thing, because I grew up in a space where I wasn't given a purpose, or even had anybody at a young age tell me you can do X. In fact, I was given to a situation or a system that told me that you aren't worthwhile, even to your own mom. So when I got thrust into foster care, I didn't have that. And over the years, I had a really tough time developing it, trying to find out what I'm supposed to be here to do and how all that kind of unfolds. And what I've realized is, for me, finding my purpose has been this lifelong thing. And it's definitely tied to who I am. Same as for you. And you've had multiple experiences that I could never touch, I could never connect to. But I do know that you've got some things going on. And so I want to have you walk through my life and my process through your own eyes. So I think that purpose is something that it's a gift. I don't think that it's something that everybody gets up front and like, hey, here's your purpose. It's kind of like this thing where we have to do some work to get that. Because if someone told you right now what you are here to do, you'd be like, oh, wow, thank you. That's amazing. Oh, I appreciate it. Now I know what to do, right? And that's a very interesting thing that I don't think that the world's going to give you. I think it's something that we have to unwrap through our time living on this planet, trials, commitments we choose to give to energy of certain things, courage you show up with, and sacrifice. There's a lot of things that have to be sacrificed. And so I looked at first the definition of what purpose means. And I was like, how does this feed my thought? It means the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. I go, man, it's kind of an interesting thing. Like if you think about the definition of purpose, I go, man, how can I unpack that? Because I think it's just this going thing. And what I've noticed is that when I look at my world of purpose, there is so much that can be done. It can even attest to this. Like there's a lot to get done on any given day that I could be giving my energy to, focusing on. Like I know this is going to be something that people probably can attest to, because I wake up every day and go, I could do anything, but you can't do everything. And so as we look at this purpose thing, I want you to look at it like this. Metaphorically, years ago, somebody said, hey, when it comes to you seeking and finding your purpose, when we were kids, we had this amazing visual of what could be done, right? Most of us. I didn't have much, but a lot of people are given like, you could be an astronaut, you could be a teacher, and all this stuff is here. And as we get older, we start kind of going into the certain school, and then we have a certain group of friends, then we have a certain career we go to, and we get dialed and dialed and dialed that career. And then after a while, all we see is this, is all we see. And we go, what's my purpose? And what I believe is our purpose exists out here still. If you aren't locked into it here, if you haven't trained your focus on that thing, it exists in this area outside of what you're seeing. So what you're going is, I can't see it. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to find it. And I go, yeah. Truth is, the thing that you're probably meant to do, if you haven't found this just yet, it's down the road a few forks away. Now, I want you to write down FORKS. This is one of my frameworks we're going to talk through today, forks. I have noticed that I think finding your purpose is this process that it's like I'm going down the road, and I'm going to go, and there's going to be forks in the road, but it's always a matter of, this is the process to expand my perspective to see what else is out there. Because I, in my life, have found this as what is the current purpose for my life. And I promise you, until 2014, I had no idea. I had no clue that this even existed as something you could do in the world. And so if I'd have been sitting around, imagine me at, all the years of my life going, what am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for? I'm going to tell you how I found this, how I landed in this thing that I love to do, that people seem to love that I do, which is a beautiful space to be in. And if you are experiencing this disconnect between the energy I'm giving to something and feeling filled up as I give it. Because I think there's a process there when you can pour out, but it fills you up. There's a magical little space, what I think is called kind of like our purpose. It's the reason something exists. I'm doing this thing to get this, and it just all seems to move smooth. So let's talk about the 4 areas or 5 words, forks, right? So here's the first part of it conceptually. I think that we go down these forks in a road and we are met with this directional thing. If I can go here, 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 and I sit there and I go, but I don't know which way to go. Should I go be a teacher? Should I go be a coach? Should I start my own business? And then I was all these forks. And what we do is go, well, I don't want to go the wrong way. So let me just sit here and wait till it clarifies itself. And then we sit there for years. I'm just going to keep doing this because it pays the bills and I'll dabble here. We never go down the fork in the road. And so we sit there and go, but I realize in my life, well, the best thing I can do is go down one, just go. And if I can make the first F a full speed decision, full speed decision. What allows me to do is a couple things. One, I'm now moving, and there's so much in motion that is powerful to uncover things. We'll talk about that in a moment, but there's so much in motion. But if I can go, then what happens is 2 things. One, either it's the right path, great, we'll keep going. Or 2, I know it's the wrong one. I can go back to the beginning. And now as opposed to 4, I got 3 choices. So the idea is F is we got to make a full speed decision. And this is where I think it's powerful to chase your passion in this manner. Because here's the thing, there are a lot of people who they don't have this question you have of how do I find my purpose? They're just not passionate about stuff except for their family, their kids, and then they'll do whatever they got to do, a regular job that they don't love because it allows them to be free to go home and have fun with their family and do their trips, right? And if they love that, great. But if you're a person that's like, I am passionate, well, you can't quell the passion, you got to chase it. And typically it's scary. I don't know what to do, if it's the right thing to go. But I tell people you have to go down the path of chasing the passion at first. Will it make sense to you? Absolutely not. The things that I have done and that you have probably done, people go, are you a crazy person? Do we need to admit you? Why in the world would you want to go talk about that or go do that thing or go create that thing? Most people look at us like we're crazy people, but it's a passion we have. And it doesn't make sense logically, but that's typically the full speed choice I tell people to make. And the idea is this. We typically don't want to make the full speed choice because we don't want to make the wrong choice. And what I tell people is you kind of have to trust your gut, and the gut's that passion. And write this down. You have to trust your gut until you trust your gut. Bear with me. I promise I'll make sense of this in a second. It's kind of like this refinement process. When I go out and chase something, I go and I trust the gut. That's what's going to do. I go do it. And then I go and go, that wasn't the greatest. I learned. I go back and now my gut is more refined. Or I go chase a thing. It worked out. Great. I log it. Okay, great. That was a good. Why was it good? Okay, cool. I log it. And little by little, I'm refining my gut's ability to make a decision, which really in my perspective is like the conscious and subconscious talking. And then all of a sudden it comes up and goes, hey, I'm trying to tell you something. You've seen this book and read this thing and there's something back here you don't know, but conscious, pay attention a little bit. And I go, my gut's saying something. Well, yeah, because there's been so many different paths I've taken and choices I've ran into to refine that thought process and really decision-making skill. So I start doing this little by little. And it takes me back to when I look at football. Those of you guys that don't play football or didn't play, any sport will do. I play defense. Defense is very trust your gut, but the gut doesn't really exist in this. What it looks like is, here's the play, Anthony. Read these things, react, trust the gut and go. And I go. I do up the plays hike. This takes place. I run full speed. Boom. I go back. Hey, Chuck's wrong choice. Oh, okay. And I watch the film on it. Okay, now I know it's the wrong choice. The same thing occurs again. I make a better choice. And I start doing this more and more and more. And after thousands of repetitions of taking a rep, good or bad, going, hey, why was it good? Why was it bad? It logs to where now when I show up to game day, you show up to game day, you can almost flow into the day. It's like a reactionary, instinctual gut thing because I trusted the gut in that moment. I was told it was the wrong choice. Cool. Why was it wrong? Okay, log that back to the gut. Gut goes, okay, next play, do it again. And now what happens is little by little by little, by making full speed sprint decisions, I got better at making full speed sprint decisions. So I'm going to tell you, when it comes to this full speed decision, the first thing is to trust your gut. You're not going to die. It may be hard. You may get some difficult feedback. The world may say, hey, it wasn't a good product, didn't go well. Hey, someone might say that wasn't the greatest, whatever it might be, but it's just feedback to refine the gut, which is that decision-making thing that just happens. And I need to trust it, right? And the more you do it, the better you get at it.
My definition of fulfillment, for me, it means to reach or exceed your potential with your integrity intact. So for those that don't know, for 9 years, I lived out of 4 suitcases, traveling 90 countries across 6 continents. It was the most exciting, crazy, exotic, wild, adventurous, and humbling journey I've ever taken. And before I started this journey, influencer marketing wasn't a thing. So before Brendon created an influencer brand and an influencer conference and summit, influencer marketing was kind of an idea and a concept before it became an industry. So when I was in my early 20s, I was like, okay, I've been on the internet at that point for 11 years. I was like right before the wave of Twitter and MySpace and Tumblr. And I knew I had this concept of digital storytelling. So I remember I was like, okay, I can build my brand showing people that I am influential, showing people that I can tell really good stories. And so I really like chased this idea of just like building a brand around myself. And I had my first 6-figure blog year in 2016. And I remember watching the 6-figure hit. And I was like, okay, I was waiting for that moment. For me, 6 figures was like, that was like what it meant to be a millionaire. I remember just feeling like money was just so foreign to me, never grew up with much. So the idea of 6 figures was just like, wow, if I can reach that with my blog, I will be so rich. So when I reached it, I was like, why do I still feel empty? Why? What's missing? Where did I go wrong? Where is the glitter and the rainbows? Like I should be pissing gold. Like I had this whole different scenario of what a 6-figure blog and a 6-figure career would look like. And this was back in 2016. And because I didn't feel what I wanted to feel, I was like, this isn't it. And so I remember it took me actually probably 18 months, but in 2019, I remember I had 2 words of the year. And this is something that I highly recommend everybody should do. Create a word for every year. And this is just the word that drives your intention forward. So for me in 2019, my 2 words were surprise and service. I wanted to surprise myself with all the ways that I could serve others. I bent over backwards, creating programs and groups and cohorts and trips to aid people on their journeys and solve problems that I felt like I had the answers to. I all of a sudden was obsessed with curating community and making sure that no one felt alone on their journey, because I did. And I was like, how can I make sure no one experiences what I did? Feeling alone in your accomplishments, feeling alone in your pursuits, all of that. I was like, I have to find a way to just build community. And so prior to that, again, I was building my brand and building my business as like a selfish pursuit. It was exciting, but it wasn't fulfilling. Excitement is not fulfillment. Something was missing. So going into inner fulfillment first, the first thing that you should do to find inner fulfillment is lead a life with integrity. Because my goodness, when you lose your integrity, you have nothing left. And I remember there were moments on my journey where, oh, easy money here, or this person got away with doing that. Should I also do that because it built their brand fast? I always took the stairs. I see the elevator success, and as alluring as it can be, I was like, nope. Here is the emergency exit with the stairway, and that is where the lights are flashing. This is where I will go. Be comfortable taking the stairs when we live in a world of people looking for the elevator. The stairway to success will be longer, but it will be filled with so many more opportunities for you to develop your character and for you to build traits that are long-standing for the long run. Okay? Number 2, for finding inner fulfillment, commit to service-driven work. So like I mentioned, when I was starting off as a blogger and just as an influencer, everything was about me. How much money can I get paid to travel? How much money can I get paid to go here and to post this? It was a selfish pursuit. I didn't have any type of way of giving back to my community or helping them. So how can you add more service to your work, to your brand, and to your business? Commit to service-driven work. Number 3, do not compromise your values. If you are someone who does not, let's say, for example, drink, don't work with an alcohol brand. It feels very obvious, but this is actually a true story. Alcohol brands pay a lot of money. I think the top 3 industries as an influencer, the alcohol brands pay a lot of money, cars pay a lot of money, and fashion pays a lot of money. So if you are someone, you built a sober brand, like that is a value. That is something that's your lifestyle. Like don't compromise that just for quick money. And it takes away from feeling fulfilled when you're doing things just for the money. Okay. So do not compromise your values, no matter what they are. Number 4, love the skin you're in. It is such a fulfilling journey and such a fulfilling life when you are obsessed with yourself. No one can love you more than you. Not your kids, not your spouse, not your best friend, not even your parents. You have to love you more than anyone else in this world. And when you develop that self-love, that obsessive self-love, not to a narcissistic level, obsessive isn't a good word, but you are just like, man, I love my journey. I love my flaws. I love my mistakes. I love my growth. I love my commitment and dedication for more. Like there is so much to love about yourself. It's not about saying the perfect and idealistic version of me looks like this. And since I'm not there yet, I can't fully love myself. No, love yourself at every step of the journey. Before a baby knows how to walk, do you say, I'm gonna hold on my love until you're at least taking your first step? It's like you love a baby when it's crawling. You love a baby when it's pooping its pants. You love a baby at every step. So why can't you love yourself at every step too?
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.